it's important to find a way forward, or you find an excuse. You find a lot of people who will give you all the excuses why they can't progress. The strong people will find a way to progress. I'm Steve Garnett, and as the aficionados of accents will tell, I'm from Liverpool originally, although I haven't lived there for a very, very long time. What do? I build software companies, and have built 3 major software companies in Europe. So I've run them and started them. Started my career at a company called Oracle, who at that time I joined, there was 25 people. Now there's 125,000 people working at Oracle. I worked there initially helping out sales, built my career, moved over into sales, ran the sales division, started to run the UK, and then ran Europe. For the last 13 years or so, I've started a company in Europe called Salesforce.com. And again, we started with about 20 people when I arrived to build the European piece. Today, the company is about 55,000 people. In terms of value, it has just gone through 200 billion in market capitalization. What does that mean in real terms? It means it's bigger than Ford's, General Motors, GE, and IBM put together. So we had quite a lot of success. Well, certainly the best thing is I don't need any more money. I don't desire any more money, and so that's good. But I've never chased the money. I think that is, because a lot of people have a goal. I just want to get rich. That is not very sensible, in my opinion. Money is a secondary effect of doing a great job, or having a great career, or providing a great service, or creating a great business. And if you do that, then the money will come. If you just chase the money, then I think you'll be difficulty. So what does money do? It gives me choice, so I can choose how I spend my time and what I do these days, and I can help others which are less fortunate. So that's the end of the rainbow. At the beginning, did I ever think ever thought I could achieve any of these things? No. I was a 17, 18-year-old kid about to go to university, first in the family, from Liverpool. At home, we didn't have any books. My father died when I was 7 years old, so and my mum was a school cleaner. So we didn't have any sort of intellectual reading at home. We didn't watch, learned programs on TV, on the little tiny black and white TV. I played football and kicked the ball around the street, so I wasn't well read. And I thought university and people who ran software companies, well, in those days there wasn't too many software companies, but IBM and Hewlett-Packard and people like this were around. But I felt that people who ran those companies were a different breed to me. They were just unattainable, because I had a strong Liverpool accent, as I still do. And all I knew was about football. I'm a Liverpool supporter, by the way. I was about football and a little bit about pop music. I wasn't in any way educated around Shakespeare or Greek mythology or post-Renaissance French poetry or anything. I knew a little bit about maths, and that's how I got my break. I knew a little bit about maths, and so I decided I'd go and try and do maths A level, and which I did. And my school teacher at the time persuaded me that I could actually go to university, and that university wasn't full of pompous, well-read, well-educated, middle-class students, that they were just like me. I didn't believe him at the time, but I thought, wow, wouldn't that be an achievement to be the first in the family to go to university and get a degree? And I was. Everybody said to me, so what are you going to do with a maths degree? And I said, I don't know, but I feel it's moving me forward. And I think that's an important lesson in life, that you keep moving forward. You put some goalposts in front of you and go towards them. Normally when you get close, the goalposts move, but it's important to drive yourself forward and have that sort of commitment and that desire to progress. So here I was at 24, 25, no money, no girlfriend, no car, no house, no job, but I had a degree and a PhD. And I was very proud of myself for doing that. So when I started to look around for a job, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but I'd use computers to solve the maths because the maths was getting complicated. So you use computers to solve it. And I could write computer programs. And when I looked around, there was lots of jobs saying, can you write computer programs? Apply to us. And that's what I did. I applied to a company called Logica, who were based down in London. And I got the job. I got offered the job. And so I started writing computer software programs, writing a program to run a stores system. In those days in Fortran on old computers. But did I really want to do that? No, but I needed a job. I needed some money. And so I started. And then I bumped into a couple of people who had just joined or were just about to join a company called Oracle, which was a startup. And they said, this company is amazing, or it could be amazing. It's American. And it's a meritocracy. If you're good, you get promoted. And if you're bad, you get fired. And they pay well. I thought, that sounds like me. That sounds good to me. And so I joined Oracle, and that's back to my earlier comments on, there was 25 people in Europe. And today, and globally, I think there was about 50 people. I can't remember exactly, but today there's about 125,000 people in Oracle. It's the third largest software company after Microsoft. Salesforce has just overtaken them, interestingly, in valuation. So that was a kind of amazing journey. But some challenges early on because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't have any money. I couldn't see any sign of money. But I just kept the faith that I was doing something that I'd be proud of when I finished. I've had some luck in being in the right place at the right time, but then it's easy to screw it up as well. I've seen a lot of people be in the right place at the right time and make a mess of it. So I think you have to, it's important to find a way forward, or you find an excuse. You find a lot of people who will give you all the excuses why they can't progress. The strong people will find a way to progress. I never wanted to go home and say I failed. That was a big driver for me. I wanted to go home and make parents, my mum, sisters proud of me. So that was a big driver for me. I think driving yourself forward, trying to do your best. I know they're nice words to say and easy words to say, and also recognizing that it doesn't happen overnight. I think there's potentially a little bit of, to believing that there's a huge part of achieving something worthwhile is believing, you can do it, but also recognizing it won't happen overnight. So you have to be patient, be a little bit patient, not too patient because you want to push forward, but you have to be patient and seeking a mentor or a role model and saying, I'd like to be like you. When I joined Oracle, there was a gentleman there who ran Oracle called Jeff Squire. And I thought, could I be like him? I'd love to be like him. And he mentored me. He helped me from time to time. I'd watch how he did things. And I just tried to be him because he ran a European software business. And eventually I did myself. I think you have to have that little bit of drive to sort of say, what can go wrong? What is so terrible if they don't respond? Okay, that would be sad. Or you feel slightly embarrassed because maybe you phrase something wrong, or you get a slight criticism over something. Is that really so bad? You won't remember that in a few months' time. It'll be forgotten, right? So be brave. Courage is a very strong attribute in people, and you need courage as you go through life. And often you feel, I can't do that, or I don't want to do that, or I'm really nervous about doing it. But buck yourself up and say, I'll have a go, because you've got to push yourself. It's important to, as I said, have those goals, and if you're passionate enough about it, you'll try. And if If not, you'll make an excuse. So be courageous. People won't shout at you if you ask for advice. I've never, as I said earlier, I've never seen anybody get upset by a young person saying, I really like your guidance on how do I make the next step. I've gone and done my homework. I've looked at your background. I've looked at, tried to do a little bit of research, so I'm not asking you a totally dumb question. But how did you get from A to B? I really like your guidance on that. And would you give me a few minutes of your time to guide me? Well, when something bad happens, you can either let it define you. So all you say is, I can't possibly do anything because of COVID, or because of the color of my skin, or the accent I have, or my lack of qualifications, and on and on and on. You can make a big list of negative things why it can't be done. So you can let things define you. You can let it destroy you and say, well, that's it, my life's over. Or you can let it strengthen you. There's only three options. And you have to let it strengthen you. Say, okay, it's going to be tough, but I'm tough. If it's important to you, as I said earlier, you'll find a way, or you'll find an excuse. So find a way is point one. Point two is, keep moving forward. Don't say, well, I can't do anything, therefore I'm not going to bother. If there's that voice in your head that is saying to you, you can't achieve this, it's a liar. Don't listen to it, right? Everyone has these little voices that come up in their head every now and again when you start to say, I'd love to be this, or I'd love to have a career in that. Go research it. Go find out how you make those steps. What courses would help you move forward? What reading would help you forward? Who else do you know who does it? Who else do you know might know somebody who is in that area who could help? Push yourself forward. Be courageous. Have a go. Every accomplishment starts with a decision to try. So start with that decision to try. Don't start with the negativity. Maybe on that theme as well. Sometimes you're saying that it's not the voice in your head, but it's your friends. Maybe you're in a group of friends who are all naysayers. Who'll say, Charlie, you can't possibly achieve that. There's no way you can achieve that goal. When you start discussing about where you want to be in a few years' time, where you want to design your life to go to, you have to separate yourself from naysayers. So if your friends, or some of your friends are naysayers, they're not true friends, first of all, by the way, if they're naysayers telling you that you can't achieve something. Distance yourself from naysayers. Find people who say, hey, Charlie, you're a great person. You can achieve that. Go for it. Go on. We'll be behind you. We'll be supporting. They're friends. So it's easy to say, it won't happen overnight, but build that inner strength and say, I'm going to do this. And times there'll be bumps in the road where you start to question yourself, think, I'm not sure this is working. Stick with it. You'll come out the other end of a much stronger and better person, and you'll start to achieve the goals that you desire. You can have great manners. You can say please and thank you to people. It's amazing how far that goes when you're dealing with job interviews or what have you. Showing up on time. If somebody says it's 9 o'clock, be there at 9. Be there 8:45. 8:30. Make sure you're there. Make sure you're prepared. Do the basics in life, because it's amazing how many people don't, or they're a little bit lazy about it. Be proud of what you're achieving, but not arrogant. Nobody likes arrogance. And just try and build that inner strength and leverage from people who are supportive of you. Make them your friends. They're the real friends anyway. And they will help you progress in life.